Good morning again. My name is Dipale. I am a trainee career guidance practitioner within the UNISA Counselling Unit, serving from the Val Service Center. However, today, for the duration of this workshop, I'm taking off that hat for anyone. I am the captain of this ship. Before we set sail, though, I would like to give my colleague an opportunity to give us our opening, welcoming, and purpose of the day. Ms. Marumo, over to you.
We're truly glad to have you here. Taking the time to invest in your personal and professional growth is one of the most valuable decisions you can make. And today is all about equipping you with the tools to step confidently into the world of work. My name is Keabetswe Marumo, and I'm a trainee in the Directorate of Counselling, Career and Career Development from the VAL Center. It is a pleasure to be a part of your journey and to support you as you prepare for your future careers. This workshop has been designed to help you build essential job readiness skills that employers are directly looking for. We will explore how to understand and respond to job requirements, how to prepare effectively for interviews, how to craft a professional and compelling CV, and how to carry yourself with confidence through proper workplace etiquette. These are not just skills for getting a job. They are skills for building a career, skills to bridge a gap between academic learning and the professional world, equipping you with the practical skills, behaviors, and confidence needed to secure employment and succeed in the workplace. As you go through today's sessions, we encourage you to participate, ask questions, and reflect on how you can apply what you learned to your own journey. Every step you take today brings you closer to your goals. In conclusion, I would like to leave you all with a short thought to set the tone for our time together. Success is where preparation and opportunity meet. Your preparation starts here. Once again, welcome, and let's make this a meaningful and impactful experience for everyone. Thank you so much.
So I'm going to begin by introducing our first speaker for the day, Ms. Jonas. She is an emerging industrial psychologist who understands exactly what it takes to transition from university to the corporate world in 2026. Currently pursuing her master's degree with the University of Witwatersrand and serving as a human capital intern at Guard Risk Insurance, she operates at the intersection of people, performance, and data. As a certified data analyst and an award-winning digital content creator, Ms. Jonas knows how to use both evidence and storytelling to make an impact, skills that earned her the recognition at the SA Radio Awards. Ms. Jonas is deeply passionate about mental health advocacy and your empowerment. She believes that thriving in today's fast-changing world environment requires more than just a degree. It requires personal mastery and resilience. In today's session, she is going to help you unlock your professional potential by focusing on 4 critical pillars: personal branding, networking, psychometric assessment, and change management. Ms. Jonas, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. Like it has been mentioned, my name is Nosipho Jonas. I wear a lot of hats, so I don't even know where to begin, but I wear a lot of hats. Before we start, I just want to say thank you for the invite. This is a really powerful session, and I really appreciate that you as a university are taking the time to ensure that you're equipping your students with the necessary tools that they need to succeed. She already mentioned some of the topics that I am going to cover. So the agenda, I'm going to be presenting on personal branding, interpersonal skills and networking, psychometric assessments and self-understanding, adaptability and change management. And we're going to have a Q&A session just after I'm done presenting. If you have any pressing questions, Please feel free to unmute, of course, but the facilitator will assist with that. And then in the meantime, you can just jot down all the questions that you have, and then I'll address them during our Q&A session. The only thing that you guys can do for me right now is to just have your note pen and your notebook so that you can write your notes, because I think this is a lot of resources that you're going to gain from this presentation. So I don't want you to miss anything important and something that you feel you need more clarity on. But besides that, I am going to share the presentation. So if you're a person who prefers listening, then please feel free to do that. Okay, so I'm a person that believes in defining things before we speak about their importance, we speak about why they matter to you guys. So personal branding is being intentional, strategic with defining and managing the public perception of yourself, your skills, your values, and your experience. It is the unique, consistent story you'll tell, both online and offline, to differentiate yourself, to build trust within your professional community, and to create professional opportunities for yourself. So based on that definition, we can deduce that these are the key components of personal branding. So the first thing that you need to do is to have a clear, authentic narrative about your career journey. And it's important that you establish this early, because now it's easier for you to be intentional since you know the vision and where you are going. You need to pinpoint what sets you apart as you establish your narrative, and this involves identifying your unique value proposition, so what you have to offer to the market, your expertise, and your core skills. And please do not, I'm going to go into all of these more practically now, which is going through the components and the definition. And the second one is differentiation. So this highlights what makes you distinct from the rest. We all have degrees, we all have matric, we all went to university. So you need to know what sets you apart within your peers, what sets you apart when you're applying for example, postgraduate studies, or what sets you apart when you're applying for employment. And this you can utilize and show, for example, on LinkedIn. So on your About section, that's the section where you are going to discuss and showcase some of the work that you've done, your experience, and what you hope for the future, so that anyone that wants to connect with you on that platform can see where you're going and see whether that aligns with them, and then they can connect with you. So you can use that section to showcase your proof of the case studies that you did, the project decks from your journey, and this will ensure that you have credibility and you have visibility. And then the third one is to be consistent with your personal branding. Visibility can only come through constantly posting on LinkedIn, constantly following the people that are in your field, engaging with their content. So if, for example, I'm in industrial psychology, 80% of my followers are people who are in my space. So I come across the content that I like to consume, and I engage with the posting, I comment, we create dialogue on the timeline so that I can show myself that this is my brand. I speak everything industrial psychology, and I would like to collaborate with you because you're also in the same field. This increases, obviously, collaboration within the community and with your peers as well. And then it sets you apart and builds your reputation as a person who's going to be speaking and constantly engaging in conversations when it comes to industrial psychology. You increase your online presence as well when you engage with other people, because it becomes more noticeable and known, and that when someone wants to speak about tech, they know who to talk to, because you're always on the timeline commenting and posting whatever that you feel is necessary at that point in time. And there should also be an alignment and consistency with what you put online and your in-person conduct. When we meet each other and you see me maybe speaking about something completely different, now you ask yourself, where is the consistency in that? So this also applies to in person. When you go to your networking sessions, it's important that you know there is alignment between you and the reason why you are there and the people that you want to meet. So you need to be really intentional with ensuring that you put yourself out there as possible, as far as possible. And then the last one is to be authentic, building a brand based on your true self and not a fabricated persona. I know right now there is this thing that, oh, you need to fake it till you make it. I do believe it, but to a certain extent, because now if you fake something, at some point in time, your facade is going to go off. So you need to know a little bit about everything, especially when you're entering into the scene and you're going to go into these networking sessions. For you to create conversation, you need to know just maybe the surface level so that you can start a conversation. And trust me, the other person will carry you through it and educate you. So it's important that you equip yourself and you are authentic with what you know and what you don't know. It's not a bad thing to admit that this is a topic that I'm not well versed in, because there are people that are willing to assist you. There are people that are willing to educate you, and they find pleasure in that. They see you as a potential mentee for them. So don't see yourself as maybe you feel like you're not adequate enough because you don't have information on a certain topic. There's always someone who's ready to assist you. And being authentic, you can build that through the regular posting of your content, because now you're going to take your followers through your journey. On LinkedIn, for example, a lot of people have this perception that you need to post, let's say, when you're graduating only, when you've gotten a new certificate, but that's not the case. People love storytelling. People love getting into the journey with you from varsity until you're a young professional, until you're now a senior, until you're now an exec. So you need to take your followers and your connections through the journey with you. So it's important that you post most of the things that you do. I used to post every class presentation I did. I used to tell my followers the key takeaways from that presentation. I used to post any networking session that I went to, whether it was in person or whether it was online. I would take pictures off the laptop and just post it, just to show that, okay, I attended this session and this is what I learned. Thank you so much. And I used to tag them and they would connect with me as well, so that I show myself that I'm committed to learning and I'm committed to growing as an individual within this community. And then the last point there on being authentic, you build credibility, visibility, and trust. So people would know that if they want to talk to someone about industrial psychology, human resources, or something that is related to radio, because I used to do radio at some point when I was still on campus, and they know who to talk to. And that's how I've branded myself. And I'm well versed in those specific fields. And I constantly post about my work there, or I engage with other people's work within that discipline. So people know who they can come to when they need to have conversation, when they need information in those particular fields. So practically, this is what everything looks like. That's a picture of me. I took this picture on my LinkedIn profile picture. So that's another thing that we need to talk about. When you are posting on LinkedIn, you need to ensure that you remain as professional as possible. So it's important that you have a professional photo shot of yourself as your profile picture. I've seen really, really not so good profile pictures on LinkedIn. And that's really ruining your visibility, your reputation, because people want to see that, okay, I'm engaging with the professional. And I'm sure we all know that how people view you does matter and the looks matter. So you need a shot that is clear, where people can see your face. And smile, guys, like just smile, you know, people want to engage with you and see that, oh, okay, she's friendly. So your picture invites people to your profile. And then from there, they can connect with you and follow through your content. And then the second picture that's there, that's my TikTok. So I was very intentional with my branding. I even took it from LinkedIn to TikTok. So that's also another platform where I post about my field. I assist people. People send me a lot of DMs and I can assist them about getting into industrial psychology if they have any questions and they're still in high school or maybe they in the undergrad and they want to know about postgrad, then I do assist with that. I was very intentional with the name because you can see that it's INDORG, Industrial Organizational Psychology, and that's my name. So they know who to approach for that. And then the last one is my letterhead. Is it my letterhead? No, my opening line on LinkedIn. So I show my position currently. I'm a human capital intern at GuardRisk. And my qualification, Industrial Organizational Psychology Masters. And then I also show the other things that I'm busy with. I'm a mentor. I did a data analytics certificate at ALX. I'm a student industrial psychologist registered with the HPSA, and I used to do radio. I should remove that, shame. Fun times. So as you can see, I've branded myself and I've positioned myself within these two platforms as someone who posts content about industrial psychology, and from there, people can now follow me and know the kind of contents that they can expect from me. All right, the second topic we're going to get into is interpersonal skills and networking. So by definition, these are the behaviors and the tactics such as empathy, active listening, conflict resolution that I use to interact effectively, to build relationships, and to communicate with others. So networking is how you use now your interpersonal skills and apply them to foster your professional connections for your career growth. The reason why this is important and how you can build these skills and use them when you network is as seen below. So you need to master your interpersonal skills. This includes communication, whether it's verbal or non-verbal, especially if you are in person. So maybe if you're in a networking session, you need to always mind how you look, how you sound. Your body language is important because that tells people a lot about you without you saying anything. So you need to ensure that your body language is very open. You look approachable, you are smiling, and that invites people to have conversation with you. And from there, once they have approached you, then you can build rapport with them. You greet, you introduce yourself, whether you have an elevator pitch or not, that's up to you. But always be willing to have a conversation with someone. A lot of people love speaking about themselves. So if maybe you've been in a room for way too long and you've noticed that, oh, Nosipho has spoken a lot about human resources and this and this and that. And then when you come up to me, maybe you can come with the question, and that's how the conversation is going to start. And then you need to have empathy. This is very important, especially in today's day and age where a lot of people are going through something. So as much as we're being professional and so on and so forth, but you need to bear in mind that at the end of the day, we are still human beings. So you need to show a little bit of empathy, and that will definitely take you a long way. Another thing that I've noticed in my schooling years and now as a young professional is that it's so easy to talk to someone about everything that is career related and work related, but a lot of people build meaningful relationships through engaging on personal matters as well. Like just ask someone, oh, how's your daughter? Or maybe how's your dog? Or how's this, because then you show that you care about them. And then active listening, that's how you can use to build trust in conjunction to all of these things that I've mentioned. You use active listening as well to build trust with the person that you're talking to. You practice confident body language and a clear, concise, personal pitch. So I did mention an elevator pitch on the previous slide. An elevator pitch is just 60 seconds. And it's very self-explanatory. If I was in an elevator with you and you literally had 60 minutes to tell me about yourself and why maybe I should invest in your business or something like that. So that's really a short, brief summary of who you are, your skills and experience, what you want to do, and why should I care about you. So it's very important that you have that as a young professional, because it's going to make everything very easy and seamless. And once you practice it more often, the more you meet people, it's easier for you to introduce yourself without having to panic, because now you have an elevator pitch in mind. All right, these obviously interpersonal skills are very crucial when you have those initial encounters, but you can turn that into lasting connections with people that you want to have a relationship with. And then the second point is strategic networking tactics. This is how you should do this. So here, you need to prioritize quality over quantity. It's not about the number of people that you connect with, it's who you connect with. So you need to target people that are meaningful, whether that's online or in person. You need to target people that can possibly help you with something, or you see yourself doing something with them, or you learn a lot from their content. So everything needs to be intentional when it comes to the people that you choose to network with. And then for a networking, for a session like this, I would advise that you also research the people that are going to be attending. That's if you do know who they are beforehand, just to see that your interests are aligned. And you can join industry groups as well. If you are in the industrial psychology or human resources, there's a lot of groups like SIOPSA, the Society of Industrial Psychology in South Africa, and there they often post whether there's conferences happening. And you can also leverage on LinkedIn. People post a lot of free information sessions that you can attend just to learn more information, and use that to post on your LinkedIn that, oh, I attended this session, and that's how you can grow your audience. And another important thing when it comes to networking, you need to offer value first. So if I've attended a session, I need to share my insights from that session, my key takeaways, so that I can show the people that attended that what they provided for me was valuable, and I did take something away from that. And that also shows them that, oh, maybe they did a good job, and it's a pat on the back, and that's where the relationship will start growing. I've already spoken about the elevator pitch as well. And then the last one is to build and sustain relationships. You need to ask questions, listen without interrupting, and provide reciprocal support to foster mutual growth, and be a person who is persistent with following up. I know a lot of us don't want to seem annoying, but when you follow up as an individual, you show that you are committed and you're reliable and you trust the person that you want to have a relationship with. This is everything from my LinkedIn. I currently have 2,950 followers and close to 2,000 connections, I think. And from there, this is what I've done to establish myself within my field. I joined a society as a student member, that's SIOPSA. I volunteered with Papa Know the Difference as an industrial organizational psychology mentor, and I constantly post the work that I do in this organization. And then I target people that I want to have conversations with, that I want to build a relationship with. So as you can see, this is Dr. Sanengiti. She's the president of SIOPSA. So I sent her a message last year in April because I wanted to establish a relationship with her. And then this comment is from a post that I made after I attended a session with SIOPSA. And and this lady, Maele, said, oh, thank you for sharing a wonderful, thoughtful reflection. We're glad. This was in 2025. And this part is 2026. Mayele sent me an email, and now I am part of the organization that was hosting that session that I attended. So you can see the difference when it comes to building relationships from me posting and engaging with her content to this year where I'm now part of what she does because I was intentional with attending the session, posting about it, building that relationship with her, and now wanting to be a volunteer at their organization in SIOPSA, and now we have a relationship. All right, I'll try hurry because I see time is not on our side. Okay, the third one is psychometric assessments and self-understanding. So psychometric tests are standardized scientific assessments used by recruiters. Please pay attention. I did not say employers. I said recruiters because they can be used whether it's employers for job purposes or it's universities for postgraduate placement. So they do use it as well in universities. Used by recruiters to measure a candidate's cognitive abilities, personality traits, and behavioral style. So they measure concepts such as emotional intelligence, interests, values, and now there's something that has been introduced known as AQ. So I know emotional intelligence is EQ, and then we have your cognitive, which is IQ, intellectual intelligence, and there's now AQ, agility quotient. So I will get into this one on the next slide. I don't want to rush. And then the main types of psychometric assessments that we currently have is aptitude or ability tests. So these measure your cognitive skills, verbal, numerical, logical reasoning. They check whether you're a person who pays attention to detail, error checking, and one of the examples for cognitive tests can be the CPP, cognitive profile, that is used to check your cognitive abilities. And then the second one is personality questionnaires. They evaluate your behaviors, your motivation, and your work styles with the right or wrong answers. There's the 16PF, that's the one that is mostly popular, that is used within recruitment to test for personality amongst candidates. And then the last one is the situational judgment test. This assesses how you handle workplace scenarios. So in there can be a mix, whether you're doing a role play, whether you're doing an interview, they just want to see how you handle different workplace scenarios such as stress or something that wasn't prepared for, and now you're going to have to do it like a presentation. So they just want to see how you handle different scenarios within the organization. I see there's a hand. So psychometric assessments are really helpful to boosting your self-understanding as an individual because the results reveal your strengths, your preferences, and your ideal career fits. And then they empower you as a participant to align your path more authentically. And then I have this little exercise that you can do once you receive this presentation deck. When you click on this arrow, it takes you to the personality assessment, just so you can see what you fall under. This is the Myers-Briggs personality test. And then from there, once you get your results, just answer these two questions for yourself and see whether the results align with who you think you are and does it reflect your career choices as well. Another important thing when it comes to self-understanding pertaining to your career, it's important that you have some form of career guidance, whether you go to someone who is eligible to provide career guidance, they can assist you with that. And career guidance is really nice because there you can do everything from the psychometric assessments. They give you a comprehensive report that shows the sum up of all the tests that you did and how you performed. And the person who administered the test will give you a feedback on what they think is more ideal for you when it comes to your career in relation to the results about your cognitive abilities, your personality, your interests, your values, so on and so forth. So this arrow will also take you to a link of a career guidance professional that I know. He's actually my research supervisor, but he also does career guidance, and it's quite affordable. So if you are interested, you can just follow this link. It will take you to his page. So the advantages of using psychometric assessments when it comes to self-understanding is you can leverage on your strength. It is easier to do something that you are good at, guys. I know we say, oh no, hard work. I need to be in this field because maybe there's a lot of money there, but getting there is really, really hard because maybe it's something like cultural sciences and maybe you don't have the cognitive ability to do that. Please do not do that to yourself. It's either to do the things that you are good at. As a nation, as a people, we need to really stop glorifying suffering, leverage on your strength. The things that you know that you are good at, you can always monetize with them, whether it's social media, whether it's cooking, anything can get you somewhere. And then the disadvantage, though, with using psychometric assessments is that some of the tests can be a little bit biased because they were developed in the Western context. And obviously, the applicability is a bit questionable to the South African norm. However, they are still used because we don't use psychometric assessment results in isolation. A lot of recruiters use that in conjunction to the interviews that you do, the role plays, if you're doing some form of a role play as part of the recruitment process, situational judgment performances, as well as your results. And from there, they form a more holistic scope of who you are as a candidate and whether they should give you the job. And then when it comes to self-understanding, this forms a foundation of your career success, because from there, if you do understand yourself, you can clarify a lot of your strength, your motivation, and whether you fit in that particular role. So self-understanding gives you insights on your own personal behaviors, your emotions, your values, and your emotional reactions as well. So that's where you assess your I, which is your inner motivations, versus your social self, because there is a distinction there between the two. And then the third point, it also reveals what drives you. So when you understand yourself, you know your preferences in terms of, let's say, how you want to work. Do you want to work independently, or you're a person who prefers collaboration within teams? That helps you to reduce a lot of career mismatches, because now when you understand that, okay, I want to work independent, then you can't work in a space like HR, because here we work together. The intern works with the talent acquisition specialist, the talent acquisition specialist with the HR business partner. So you need to know what you prefer when choosing your career and going forth with that. And that obviously boosts alignment with who you are and what you want to pursue. And from your self-understanding, this can be informed by your values and your beliefs as an individual, your strength and the gaps that you see within yourself as an individual. And some of these gaps that you do identify, you need to say, is it something that I want to learn more about? Is it something that I need to learn more about? Then from there, you can make that decision for yourself. And then your motivation as well is very important when it comes to how you understand yourself. Because when you go into a role, if you don't have any motivation, or maybe your motivation is something that is quite very materialistic, like money or maybe status, then when something happens to that, then your whole entire self-esteem will be down, because now your motivation is not maybe in the right places. Then the last one that I'm going to be focusing on is adaptability and change management. I did mention another form of intelligence that is currently emerging, especially now in this era of digital revolution, or AI, whatever you want to call it. And this is the agility or adaptability quotient. So this is the ability for you to adapt, to learn, to thrive in the face of change, uncertainty, and the unknown. So it makes it you to have a critical form of intelligence in today's fast-paced world. So your AQ measures how you as an individual can effectively adjust your thinking, your behaviors, your work strategy when you're faced with circumstances that change quite rapidly or in the face of unpredictability. And this versus IQ. IQ measures your intelligence and your EQ measures your emotional intelligence and regulation. So AQ is important because, like I mentioned, today's jobs are very demanding cognitively and emotional wise. So you need to be a person who's very flexible when it comes to those shifts that you can go through. And you need to be adaptable as well in the way you work, in the resources that you use as well, whether that's technology or it's the people that are around you, people that can assist you. You need to have all sorts of person basically. And then it builds on your self-understanding as well, because now you can leverage some of the psychometric strengths that you've identified during your assessments, for example, resilience, and that using your personal skills can help you transition smoother when there's a lot of change happening around you. And then the third point is AQ gives you the opportunity to view change as something that can help you with growth, new experiences that can rewire your brain. Neuroplasticity is something that is very important when it comes to AQ, or just important in general. I think as people, we've been wired that, oh, this is what I know and I can't learn anything else. But your brain and your neurons are constantly waiting to learn new things, to meet new people, to have new experiences, because that's how your brain gets rewired and you get to learn and grow. And then obviously for this to happen, now you need to change your mindset. So the first point is the emotional agility or adaptability, and this is characterized by how you manage your stress with techniques like labeling your feelings. As people, we tend to say, oh, I don't know how I feel. You do know how you feel. And the important thing when it comes to solving it and regulating your emotions, you need to name that feeling so that you can know how to deal with it best. So it's important that when you are engaging with your emotions, you label them, and then from there you know how to regulate and solve the problem. And then the second one is your growth mindset. This is really, really, really important, because now you look at your challenges, you look at your setbacks as something that can be used to build new skills, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in your personal life. When you have a challenge, you don't use that as an opportunity to complain. And I know that we do, but please do not allow yourself to dwell in that space. You need to see that as an opportunity to build new skills, to meet new people, to get new resources. And that's how you can grow as an individual. And then the third one is proactive learning. You need to be committed in your own personal development, whether that's professionally or personally, you need to be committed to that. I'm a person who's very obsessed with learning, like I'm always doing a certificate or something, because I believe in engaging with my mind. Otherwise, I feel like I'm just idle. So it's very important as an individual to constantly be feeding your mind with new information as well, because that new data that your mind receives is important when you make certain decisions, and you can always consult with your brain about the new things that you've learned, and they can help you make better decisions as well. All right, I think this is the last one, and core. Oh, I can't see it properly because I'm showing my skills. Or core skills breakdown. When it comes to change management and being adaptable, these are the skills that you need. Cognitive flexibility. Obviously, you shift your thinking when you are presented with new data, new information, new people, new experiences. You need to allow your worldview to be flexible and to be changed and not fixed in anything. Two truth can exist. That's a fact. So whatever you think you know, you really don't know. So your mind is constantly going to be presented with new information, and it's up to you as an individual to always pivot after you've received the new data, and always your mind will always have a revolution happening, because now you know that, oh, okay, I learned something new, and this something new that I learned is challenging something else that I did learn. But those two things, they're not really far apart from each other. They're actually related. So you constantly engage your brain in that way, and engage the people that can help you when it comes to certain topics as well, because now you are picking each other's brains. Interpersonal adaptability, adjust your communication style. This is very important, especially in corporate or as a young professional, because you are going to be meeting different people with different personalities. So it's important that you adjust how you communicate with people. Who am I talking to at what point in time? We have diverse people, so it's important that you read the room and then you adjust accordingly. Creative problem solving is very important as well, especially when you are faced with uncertainty. You do not need to be fixed to traditional methods of doing things. You need to be innovative, and you need to define what innovation is under your terms. I need to define how you want to work as well, and make things easier for you. And the last one is resilience building. Oh, I can't stress this enough. It's important as an individual to be resilient, because when you're faced with challenges, you will not dwell too much on the challenges or the setbacks that these times are giving you, but you will bounce back from any setback, because now you have that growth mindset that sees challenges as opportunity for growth, opportunities for new experiences as well. And then you can obviously use this to have a personal developmental plan for yourself, and see where am I at when it comes to interpersonal skills, where am I at when it comes to building my personal brand. So yeah, I think that's it from me. Oh yes, this is also a link to my LinkedIn if you want to follow me. But that's it from me, guys.
Then we move on to Ms. Marumo. Ms. Marumo is an expert in youth development with over 12 years of experience in workplace readiness and learning. At Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator, she oversees work-integrated learning programs and the SA Youth Contact Center, utilizing her background in psychology to build the specific mindsets required for sustained employment. Her work is central to Harambee's mission as a social enterprise dedicated to breaking the barriers that keep young people locked out of the economy. As an anchor partner in the Presidential Youth Employment Intervention, Harambee operates SA Youth Mobi, South Africa's largest free online network, connecting over 4.6 million work seekers with opportunities across government and the private sector. In today's session, Ms. Marumo will draw on the vast network to highlight current entry-level opportunities available to graduates. She will provide practical guidance on navigating the unique transition into the workplace following an learning institution. Thank you, Ms. Marumo. You can take the stage.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I am, as you've heard, representing Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator. And before I start, I think I owe everybody an apology, because for those of you who've had an opportunity to look me up, I am currently, it says I'm currently the Learner Support Manager. I'm actually in transition. So my current role, which is Youth Services Operations in the Youth Services team in our organization, I am in transition from my previous role to this role. So I just wanted to add that, because Ms. Jonas had actually mentioned that, you know, sometimes people will look us up before, and if they've had an opportunity to do so, you're probably thinking, huh? what's going on? Like you said, you're one person, now we're seeing another person. So yeah, just wanted to clear that up. Thank you for this opportunity. We really look forward to giving you some exposure and knowledge in terms of work readiness. And I appreciate these kinds of platforms. I'm very passionate about youth, and youth unemployment is a problem in South Africa. And I'm very privileged to be working in a space where I get to solve for that. So this really gives me a lot of pleasure. Please, if you do have any questions, I'm going to try to keep to the time to the best of my ability, just so that I can take some questions and people can voice them over. Yeah, my presentation is very short, just so that we do allow for time to actually interact. So basically, how we're going to structure my conversation today, we're going to cover 3 areas, which is how sayouth.mobi optimizes profiles for visibility, work-ready mindset, practical tips in terms of transitioning into the world of work, and then lastly, we'll touch on entry-level opportunities. So the first topic, which is how sayouth.mobi optimizes profiles for visibility. For those of you who do not know who Harambee is, we are a youth employment accelerator. We're a social enterprise that partners with a lot of private and public employers and organizations as a whole to bridge the barrier that actually exists in terms of youth unemployment. We are here to really ensure that youth find opportunities, and we bridge that gap between employers looking for the right type of youth and youth looking for the right type of entry-level jobs. And that, in a nutshell, is who we are. How do we do this? Well, we have a platform called SA Youth, where we invite both employer partners as well as youth to engage with us. On the employer side, how that happens is that our platform enables employers to actually come onto our platform, engage with us by allowing us to access their entry-level jobs in their organizations. These entry-level jobs can be for people who do not have a matric, only have a matric, or have a post-matric qualification. So entry-level jobs are at different levels, and this space or our platform allows for employer partners to actually put their vacancies onto our platform. And then on the other side, our platform allows youth to register onto our platform and to be able to access work readiness opportunities, which are both learning or earning opportunities. Remember, opportunities sometimes may not necessarily always come in the form of you being able to find a job. Sometimes it's about how do we engage with organizations, if it's not ourselves, that give you learning opportunities. For example, youth who are entrepreneurs. If you're an entrepreneur, you may have some burning questions or challenges in your having your own business, and you may need some guidance where we then partner with certain organizations like the National Youth Development Agency that allows us to connect them to youth who have got issues in this regard. And, we're able to incubate your business, help you get funding, or assist with regards to coaching and mentorship in terms of your business. So that's just one example. Obviously, we also engage with employer partners in terms of connecting or matching them to youth who are looking for opportunities. And as a youth who then registers on our platform, you are then able to, through your engagement on our platform via an SA Youth CV that you would complete, you would then be able to signal to employer partners that you are the right person for whatever vacancies that they've given. So our SA Youth CV is not a traditional CV in the sense of just giving us information about yourself and then we use it to connect you to employer partners. We've got different ways of signaling to employers that you are the right person for whatever vacancy they've got. The first and foremost is our CV. It outlines a young person's skills, their potential and behaviors, helping employers to, make smarter hiring decisions. So it's very important for us to ensure that we are helping an employer to understand beyond a metric or beyond your qualification, who you really are, and that you are a fit for the job that they are looking for. We've also got opportunities to assess. So we've got an assessment that looks at your problem-solving skills as well as your learning potential. Obviously, as a graduate, you may be someone who has the theoretical aspect of the qualification and not necessarily the practical side of things. And this tool would really help an employer to really understand through the results of the assessments you would have engaged in, to better understand you in practicalizing your knowledge, if I can put it that way, right? We've also got a growth mindset assessment, which we partner with other researchers, Dipale, for example, who help us really determine the matching aspect of a youth's profile to the employer partner's vacancy that we've got on our platform. We use algorithms. And the other important information that we use is the information we've got in terms of, the general information on your CV, your location being a very important part. Remember, youth out there are facing various, I just actually want to put my headset in. I'm sorry, there's a bit of noise coming through. Can everybody still hear me? Just checking
Yes.
Thank you so much. Sorry, the building next door, they've got some renovations and I'm hearing knocking, just in case you guys might be able to hear that. Thank you so much for confirming. Youth out there face various barriers, and it's important for us to ensure that, we make youth visible and accessible to employer partners that we've got on our platform. So one of the things that we have to look at is the types of barriers that stop a person from being able to access work are, for example, transport and transport costs. Things like where you are in relation to where the jobs are, for example. So we have our developers in the back end in terms of our platform, creating algorithms, ensuring that our youth are not more than one taxi ride away from the jobs that we match them to, that match their skill set and qualifications, right? Again, trying to ensure that when you do get that opportunity, when you go for the interview, we lessen the barriers that get put in your way to actually getting the job. Remember, the background of a person also really matters. Do they come from a background where there's money available to even, print out CVs, etc.? Transport costs are hectic. So we try to lessen those barriers in utilizing the information that a young person has given us on their profile to ensure that we engage with them and give them the opportunity. And also—
Excuse me, Ms. Marumo, sorry
Yes.
to disturb you, but are you intentionally projecting your first slide, or were you intending
Yes.
for it to move?
Yes, no, I'm not moving. I will move just now.
All right, sorry. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And then lastly, on this specific slide, we continuously engage with our youth to ensure that they are, updating their CV, making sure that whatever skill set or whatever engagement that they are participating in, we ensure that they update their CV on a continuous basis. I think people are always so focused on their qualification and they really forget to also look at the skill set that also makes them matches to an opportunity. Employers want to see how do you best match to an opportunity in terms of how can you actually do the job better. So we also want to ensure that we are educating youth in terms of not just building a CV, but helping us match them to an opportunity by making sure that they're continuously visible, they're continuously matching to the right opportunities by using their CV to ensure that that CV is up to date to the best of their ability. So we're moving on to our work-ready mindset and talking about practical tips for transitioning. I think it's important, number one, to understand barriers that we actually face as young people. So one of the biggest barriers young people face isn't just education, it's work experience, right? Employers want people who've worked before. But young people often don't get that first opportunity because of the fact that you've got the qualification, but you haven't got the experience. And I mean, you need the job to be able to get the work experience so that you can secure a job. So this circle becomes a vicious circle, if you can think about it, because we're continuously wanting to get jobs, but people don't give us jobs because we don't have the experience. That is the reason why it's so important to have these learnerships and internships, apprenticeships, job shadowing, doing volunteering work, joining, learning or earning programs that allow you to bridge the gap from theory to practice, right? These programs solve problems that we are talking about currently by creating structure and supporting entry-level points into the workplace. I think it's also important for me to just mention here that we have a work integrated learning program. It's called Harambee Work Integrated Learning Program. And this program of ours actually is built through exposure to real work, giving our learners on our program an opportunity to engage in workplace behaviors and actually building rapport with management, etc., so that they learn to become professionals, whether they are graduates or not. And in doing so, helps us to really help them bridge that gap to make them more employable. One of the things that I think we really need to think about is, what is it that a person can do even once they've gotten their qualification to actually make themselves more employable? So when you're transitioning from, graduation and you're now looking for that job, that gap, that time frame, how are you using your time? You've built a CV. As I said earlier on, our platform allows for you to be able to build a CV for yourself if you don't know how to do that. I also appreciate that a lot of institutions like UNISA, for example, do also have units in their academy that actually allow for them to assist youth or young people who are transitioning into work, those opportunities to understand what goes into my CV, how do I articulate myself, how do I position myself to get that job. Young people also need to understand things like, what is really the importance of a job? Is it just about the job, or is it me meeting the requirements of an employer? Remember, a work-ready mindset is built through exposure to real work environments. So a young person needs to practice these, understand these principles, and show in their interview, in how they articulate their CV, that they know what is expected, right? If you are transitioning, one of the things I always encourage young people to say, while you're looking for that job, what are you doing? Let's volunteer. Find a place where you are able to go and offer your time and skills. And I know, guys, sometimes this doesn't really practically play out the way we like to. Remember, you probably have a qualification in a certain industry or area and may not find a suitable employer who's willing for you to even volunteer. Because it's very difficult for employers to understand that to actually get you to volunteer requires for them to have capacity to ensure that you're doing the right things, to manage you while you're there. But find those opportunities. Make sure that when you do find an opportunity to go and volunteer your time or start a business, you're capturing all the skills that you are acquiring. So in complement to your qualification, it's very important for you to also start jotting down all those skills that you're acquiring in that exposure that you're getting. Hence, I'm saying for some people who do have micro businesses, whether you are selling sweets, braiding hair, doing whatever small hustle on the side, please ensure that you are grasping all of those skills on your CV, making sure that you articulate them correctly, making sure also that your interactions, whether it's your customer base or it is your, whoever you report to at your volunteer place, that person can act as a reference for you, who can actually say, yes, I can vouch for this person. When they were coming here, they used to come to our offices twice a week for 4 hours per day. And these are the responsibilities that they were actually tasked with per day, and they executed these well. I can vouch for this person that, things like and things that we take for granted, just by the way, guys. Punctuality. If you're going to be going to a place and volunteering while you're looking for a job, be punctual. Make sure that if you've committed to going to a place, you get there on time all the time. It speaks volumes about your character. It shows the employer, who may, by the way, absorb you and give you an opportunity within their organization, that you actually are taking this seriously. As much as they're not paying you, you are taking this opportunity seriously. Punctuality, attendance. I mean, we used to do this at school, right? Where your teacher would take a register, but we didn't realize that actually this kind of discipline is going to translate into how people understand you going forward, right? Having a positive attitude. Sometimes as a graduate, and I can tell you, when I was first starting my first job, I worked in a bank. And one of the things I got an opportunity to do, one of the director's PAs went on maternity leave, and I was asked to PA for 4 months. And I was like, but I'm a graduate. I mean, a whole me, PAing. I mean, do you know who I am? That's the mindset that we have sometimes as people who are educated, but we have to start somewhere. Sometimes it means that, you are going to be a PA. You may not start necessarily where you've studied. So I had to change my mindset. I had to position myself in understanding that how I approach even a job that I don't feel I'm qualified for, whether I'm overqualified or not. My attitude is very important. Why? Because that may open doors for me. Do you know that in that 4 months, I was able to earn myself a 10,000 Rand bonus just based on how I executed that role. It was a gratuity. The company gave me something to say, thank you. You saved us money from getting a PA to come and work for 4 months. Your attitude, and I made mistakes. Obviously, I'd never been a PA before, but those mistakes I learned certain skills from. I know how to multitask. I worked on Outlook, for example, and I was able to do certain things that in my administration job that I was actually hired to do, I didn't know how to do. I can work on Outlook. I can manage a diary. I can engage with people at different levels. Remember, I was PAing to a director. So all those skills, I was jotting them down. I was able to add them into my CV, and that's what got me my second job. So please, think about these things while you are transitioning into the world of work. Your world is your university, guys. Talk to people who are professionals. Ask them, what makes you, successful in the space that you're in? You must remember, not all of us are going to get the opportunity to actually go into the jobs that we studied for. I did a psychology degree. I applied and I got an opportunity to do my honors. And then as I applied to do my master's, I applied, but I didn't get in. And I was just like, so what's next? And I had to think about that. My first job was then in a bank. Psychology degree, a bank, how does that work? Right? But my mindset had to change to say, I have to start somewhere. I started in the call center. I told myself, you're going to work your way up. Just by the mindset that I had, within 2 weeks, I moved from being in the call center to the client care services team. This is the team that was allocating cards, whether it's credit cards or bank cards, to customers. And I was working in that team. Things like getting to work and starting from the bottom. Yes, it was administrative, but I was able to think outside the box, getting to work early so that I could learn the work that I was doing, leaving slightly later so that I can make sure that I've crossed my T's and dotted my I's. Those kinds of mindset shifts help you to transition. I was then called by the head of the department to say, listen, you got there. You are exceeding your targets beyond even the people you found in that team. How are you doing this? Within 8 months, how are you doing this? And it was just about my mindset to say, as much as I wasn't trained for a banking environment, I am going to make this work for me. I then was able to transition into HR, where I was able to use my qualification. I was able to use the skill sets that I really was passionate about. But it doesn't always happen right at the beginning. And I think, guys, the other thing that I want you to be aware of, our platform also gives a lot of youth reading material, exposure to what is the world of work about? What does it mean to be a professional? What does it mean to actually engage in the work environment? What are the do's and don'ts? Because unfortunately, there aren't a lot of institutions out there that give you a qualification and give you, the practical skills of coping in a work environment. I liked that Nosipho Jonas was also talking about having, a great mindset in terms of making sure that you are branding yourself well, the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you engage with people, the way you network. All of those things are small little things that add up and create a brand that allows you for preparing for that transition. So don't take things for granted. Understanding different generations. I mean, you're going to be working with people who've been working for 10, 20 years plus. How do you, as a young person with a degree, walk into an environment where some people may not even have a degree? They've got 20 years worth of work experience, but maybe don't have a degree. How do you transition into that mindset, understanding that you're going to be a threat to some people? We've got an in-house joke where we term young people botsibingi, the know-it-alls, because you guys, my 1K, my 2K, you guys have a lot of knowledge, access to knowledge right at your fingertips. Very important for you to utilize that knowledge, but utilize it to your benefit. Make sure that even the basic principles like respect, managing your time, understanding that you're working with different generations and how your manner of approach is in those environments will really help you to transition very well into a work environment. And I want to then touch on lastly, as I said earlier on, guys, I've only got 3 slides. I wanted to really engage with you guys. So I'm trying to keep it simple and to the point. We have got entry-level opportunities, as I mentioned earlier, and entry-level opportunities increasingly driven by demand and based on what is going on out there. I think one of the things that I do want to really mention, and it's a reality check, you as young people who are qualified are obviously going to be, competing with people who are losing their jobs, who've got more work experience than you, who have, possibly lost their jobs, who come maybe at a less level in terms of their qualification. However, they've got more work experience. Don't let that be a damper. Drive yourself to keep learning. Utilize things like short courses while you are transitioning into the world of work. And once you even secure that opportunity, continue to learn, continue to grow your mindset, continue to understand the field that you are wanting to be in, by engaging with, people in that space, finding a mentor in that space, understanding what allows you to secure an opportunity and stay or sustain that opportunity when you find it. Entry-level opportunities increasingly driven by demand. When we say demand, it depends on, where the work is. SA Youth plays a critical role by aggregating opportunities and making them visible and accessible. As we know that, there's a lot of opportunities out there, but a lot of people don't know how to access those opportunities. So we're trying to be the bridge or the connection between the two. There are programs, as I mentioned, even the YES program and work integrated learning programs that help young people gain their first work experience and build employability and credibility in terms of what they are able to do. These pathways focus on bridging the experience gap, enabling transitions from learning into earning opportunities at scale. Please, guys, engage. Ensure that you are always trying to find an opportunity. Getting your foot in the door is very important because those skills, that opportunity, don't always be driven by the monetary aspect. That will come. Once you've secured an opportunity, once you're in there and you're working, the money will come. You just need to think about what opportunity I can find where I can get the work experience. And while I'm in that entry-level opportunity, I can start working on my secondary opportunity that is not entry-level or that is actually more aligned to the qualification that I actually have obtained. Sunrise opportunities, I think, are very, very important. we also need to ensure that, we expose ourselves to different sectors, including retail and hospitality, BPO, logistics. There are various opportunities in various sectors. And I think young people sometimes are very narrow-minded in terms of, oh, I want to be an accountant in a reputable bank, or, and you forget that other industries also have an HR practitioner, also have an accountant in their organization, because of the fact that their focus is in a different space. It doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have similar professions operationally. So don't just think or structure yourself in one space. Open up your horizons. Lastly, on my side, I want to just add that the skill sets that you've got, don't allow them, or your qualifications that you have, don't allow those to limit your options. There are what we have, there are things called transferable skills, where, for example, you worked in a call center and you've worked with customers, you've done sales, you've done customer service. That customer service or sales has taught you certain skills that you're able to transfer into other spaces. You can become a data analyst because you've learned to work with numbers. You've learned to work with difficult people. You've learned to work and aggregate certain information and make it relatable to other spaces where decision making is required. Don't limit yourself because you've only got this qualification. Expose yourself, open up your horizons, and ensure that you are also looking for opportunities, making sure that your CV is structured in such a way that the keywords in your CV match the keywords of these entry-level opportunities. That's another thing that's important. Looking for a job is a job in itself. For those of you who've already started this or who have got prior work experience, you know that looking for a job is a job in itself. You cannot be using the same CV to apply for many jobs. You have to structure your CV and align it to every job application that you are actually applying for, so that you are more successful, that you are ahead of the queue in terms of other people who are applying for the same opportunity. Very, very important for you to understand that. And lastly, I would like to just leave you guys with our details. Please, we assist both graduates and non-graduate youth who are looking for opportunities between the ages of 18 to 35. So our platform caters for youth who are not employed or who have prior work experience, who are running side hustles or not, for opportunities that are earning or learning. To apply onto our, or rather to register on our platform, you go to sayouth.mobi. That's what you type in the search engine, sayouth.mobi, and it is data free. In other words, even if you didn't have data, just getting into the platform, it should allow you to do that because we are data free. When you get into our platform, please engage with us. Ensure that you complete our assessments, ensure that you complete a CV. Even if you've got your own personal CV, create a CV on our platform and give us as much information as you can so that we can match you to the best opportunity that is more applicable to your skill set, to your qualification. The more information we've got, the better your opportunity to secure an opportunity with us. Lastly, you can also find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on TikTok, on Instagram, on various platforms, Facebook included, so that we can engage with you. And you will see also that, through our partnerships with other employers, both government, private sector, etc., when we've got opportunities driven by us, we really, really get out there. I can give you an example. For example, the Department of Basic Labor and Education, they actually partner with us in terms of the teacher assistant or general assistant programs that they run on an annual basis. That kind of work typically comes through us. And those opportunities are on our platform. When they come up, we are able to then ensure that all our youth who are on our platform have got access, and it's national jobs, guys. It's not just based in Gauteng or Joburg for that matter. We find opportunities and partner with both government and private sector nationally. So please register a profile, ensure you give us information, and let's help you find your first opportunity. I'd like to just say thank you so much for your time. I see that someone's even posted here that most companies don't even want volunteers anymore. That is so true, because we are living in an age where it's hard. They are even struggling to keep their own staff complement, you know. They have to get somebody who has to manage you as a volunteer. So it is difficult, but that mustn't stop you from trying. Guys, even small businesses, a spaza shop, someone might say, a spaza, you're going to earn a skill set by working in a spaza shop. The owner of the spaza can tell your next employer that you've handled cash, you're trustworthy, you have got customer service skills, you can do stock taking. Listen to all these skill sets that I'm already pointing out from something as basic as that.
My question is that where can I get an institution that can help me build a CV for me? And secondly, is there anywhere where I can how can I put this one, like LinkedIn?
Yes.
How can I build my background? Because I'm currently working as a safety coordinator, and then I was employed as a protection services member, and I'm working under safety office.
Okay, all right. First and foremost, building your CV, we can do that for you. So when you apply on sayouth.mobi, that CV that you are going to be putting together, you're able to download it and use it for looking for jobs. That in itself will also give you a good template to use, because it actually puts your information in the way that every employer, and we partner with most employers, to be honest with you, will understand and be able to translate your information and skills and qualifications. So you can build a CV from our platform. And then in terms of building your background on LinkedIn, I think once you have a credible CV and you've put it together, that then helps you, because LinkedIn also does teach you how to build your background. So if you go onto LinkedIn, they've got videos there that actually do educate you into how to using your profile to better put yourself out there. And also you will see when you're building your profile that it actually has got sections where it guides you in terms of what information is required in that space. And then lastly, just to point you back to Ms. Jonas's presentation, I mean, she was also giving great tips in terms of how to put yourself out there from a branding point of view, from a networking point of view, especially in the field that you are currently in, and broadening that field. I mean, security and security as a whole is a big sector. So you can really find organizations and partner with them in that regard. Guys, for purposes of time, I appreciate you allowing me to take that question. I'm going to stay on and try and answer some of the questions in the chat. But thank you again for your time. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from you via your profiles on sayouth.mobi. Thanks, guys.
So with us today, we have Ms. Mthembu from the Department of Employment and Labour. In an era where digital recruitment is increasingly complex, Ms. Mthembu serves as a vital resource for graduate safety and success. In today's session, she will demystify the official channels of the department, focusing on verified job search platforms that offer legitimate pathways to employment. Addressing the rising challenges of the digital age, she will also provide essential training on identifying and avoiding prevalent job-related scams. Her goal is to empower students to conduct their job searches with safety-first mindset, ensuring that you are able to tell apart the opportunities from the fraudulent threats. Thank you, Ms. Mthembu. The floor is yours.
My name is Sulisile Mthembu, and I'm standing in for Mr. Thakhani Lambani because he has prior engagements that he's currently held by. I am an employee of the Department of Employment and Labour. Importantly, I work under the business unit called PES, which stands for Public Employment Services. So my presentation today is going to be focused on the verified job search platforms and prevalent common job related scams. I will firstly introduce the services that we render as a business unit and then transition straight into the topic of my presentation. Is that fine with everyone? The purpose of the Public Employment Services mandate is to assist companies and workers to adjust to changing labor market conditions and to regulate employment agencies. To a recruitment agency, their services, though, are free of charge for both employees and employers. They employ a large number of graduates every single year. The previous year, there were over 10,000 graduates that were employed by the enforcement and inspection services. And the Public Employment Services also has employed a large number of psychology graduates, and also the Compensation Fund had a few graduate opportunities available. So it consists of 2 chief directorates, work seeker services and employer services. So what it does is that we register individuals, employers, work seekers and opportunities on our database called ESSA, which stands for Employment Services of South Africa. Sorry about that. What happened to my slide? So we also assist in employment counseling and psychometric assessment, placement of both formal jobs, training opportunities, learnerships, internships, apprenticeships within that website of ours. And we have employer services with its main functions being to register work and training opportunities on the Employment of Services of South Africa database. It facilitates the placement of work seekers with employers or in training opportunities. It facilitates the employment of foreign nationals in a manner that is consistent with the objectives of all applicable legislation. It assists companies in distress by providing a social plan, and it regulates private employment agencies and temporary employment services. Then the Work Seeker Services Directorate, its function, its main functions is to register work seekers and retrenched workers on ESSA. It's to advise work seekers on access to education and training, advise work seekers, workers on access to social security benefits, and it provides specialized services to assist vulnerable work seekers. It also provides employability enhancement programs by employment counselors, such as learnerships, and it provides psychometric assessment services, and it strictly employs psychologists, registered counselors, and psychometrists for the psychometric assessment services. And then the ESP2s, which stands for Employment Services Practitioners, what they do is that they're the ones that do the recruitment and selection process. Are we still together?
Yes, we're still together.
Okay. So the database that I was talking about, called ESSA, Employment Services of South Africa, is one of the biggest databases in South Africa for work seekers that has over 700,000 registered work seekers. And you can either access it by searching ESSA on Google, or you can scan the QR code. So when you access the website, your username is your ID number, because the database is directly linked to the Department of Home Affairs. And your password will be sent to you after you complete all the required steps. If you experience any difficulties, maybe if you try to access the database, I will then provide my email at the end of this presentation in order for you to maybe send your CV to me so that my colleagues and I can register you on the database. Moving to the main focus of this presentation, we need to take into consideration some of the statistics that South Africa has. So Stats SA, according to its fourth quarter report in the previous year, it revealed that the unemployment rate for the youth is 46.1%, and that the graduate unemployment rate sits at a 10.3% for graduates that have a bachelor's degree. And approximately over 23.3 million South African citizens live below the poverty line. And because of this information, some scammers and fraudsters, they use this to their advantage by trying to lure people to selling them jobs and in order to steal their personal information and sensitive data. So maybe someone could ask, what are these job scams? So job scams are fake job opportunities that are designed to steal money and personal information. They are often targeted at the unemployed youth in the job market because they know that due to the high unemployment rate, some people tend to be desperate for jobs. So it is increased by, it is increasing due to online job searching. I think this is also based on the fact that we live in a digital age. So everything that we do is mostly online. Most of the applications that we submit are online. So they take advantage of this desperation, and that's why this awareness is very crucial. So some of the prevalent job scams, they request for payments for training fees, registration fees. They're fake recruitment agencies. They offer high salary jobs with no relevant qualification required, fake government or company job posts. They have many dangers that they pose towards South African citizens, such as financial loss, where they ask for registration fees, training costs, background check fees before you can even start. And there is also an aspect of identity theft. These websites might request photos of your ID, your bank statement, your password, which could be misused and can also lead to financial costs because they can hack some of your banking details and banking. And they also provide false hope, which can leave many work seekers discouraged and mistrustful of genuine opportunities. It can also lead to human trafficking because most of these criminals, they lure young people into situations with fake adverts. They're promising them glamorous jobs, obviously opportunities and high pay. And so because of the desperation, people don't think twice. They just, they go with what they are telling them. Some of the red flags to watch out for on these job-related scams are usually they have poor spelling and grammar because they don't really take that much account some of the messages that they're portraying in these messages that they sent us. They also have the element of pressure so that you act quickly, and they urge you to apply immediately or this opportunity will be then sent to somebody else. They ask you to pay money for background checks, training, and their email addresses, they're usually just at gmail.com instead of having a real company domain. There are no formal interview processes. They promise you a job and they say that if you pay a specific fee, you will then get the job, which gives people the sense that some jobs are for sale. I think it's based on the information that some people could have that, because of corruption, nepotism, this is something that happens. But in reality, that is not the case. You need to follow a right procedure in order to ensure that you get the job. And some of the identification that you can find is that they usually use unprofessional communication channels like WhatsApp, Telegram. Sometimes they send you messages that tell you that maybe if you have a job that you qualify for and it's like 250 per day. So in that sense, they kind of lure you into communicating with them. So it is very important that you always check the company's website and its contact details, right? So some of the verified job sites, such as ASA, which stands for the Employment Services of South Africa, it assists in job placement. It also provides a safe haven where you can find various jobs, such as formal jobs, apprenticeships, learnerships, internships. So what the employment services practitioners do is that they go to various employers and they let them know about the database that we have. And in order to ensure that the system is there, they register these opportunities that they get from these private companies. They register them on the database. And if you meet the criteria, then the database will then pop up your CV and it will show them to us. It will show your CV to us. Then we will be in contact with you to inform you about the job opportunity and tell you what we require from you going forward. So it is an important tool to use, and it's an important database to use when you are looking for a job, because one, you know that it's safe and you will not be solicited from any funds or anything. And it is very important and it's very crucial that you put in the most factual information as you possibly can, because even the tiniest detail can link you to an employment opportunity. So the other government platforms are developmental websites and government platforms. The DPSA, which stands for the Department of Public Services Administration, it releases posts every single Friday. And you can also access the Z83 form from it. And also, when you go to the Department of Employment and Labor's database and you look for an example of how to complete a Z83 properly, it will give you an example and information with regards to how do you fill out most of the sections and all of the sections within the Z83 form. So it is an important tool to use. So you should look for free platforms that register you as a job seeker. Municipal job postings, usually such as the City of Ekurhuleni, City of Johannesburg, they all advertise their roles on their websites, and even the City of Tshwane. You can also try LinkedIn, which helps you with professional networking and job listing, because it's important if your goal is to get employed, it is important to ensure that you link yourself with people who are like-minded. So individuals who are going to help you get exposed to certain opportunities that you might not be able to get on your own. You can also look at the info desk, where you can see a list of vacancies from business enterprises, higher education institutions, national government, public entities, so forth and so forth. You can also use SA Youth, Graduate 24, Indeed, PNAT, which popular in corporate sectors. You can also use Career 24, which advertise jobs from various industries. You can also use NGO Pulse for NGO organizational vacancies, Puff and Pass for internships, learnerships, and bursaries, JobJack, executive placements, focuses on senior and managerial roles. Harambee SA, I think they just did a presentation as well. And Recruit My Mom, which connects skilled women with flexible and remote jobs. Are we still together? Okay, thank you. Yes. So in conclusion, I would like to just say that in all of these websites, whether it's PNet, whether it's Indeed, whether it's maybe from a Facebook post, if you see a job advert, it is very important that you take it upon yourself to go to the company's website and to ensure that you verify whether this job actually exists and it's actually listed. You could actually also call a company in order to verify if the post is true. And if that post is a departmental post, you need to go to the DPSA, because they post all the government entities' job posts on there, whether it's internships, formal jobs, you will find them there. So it's very important that you take upon yourself this information in order to ensure that you are not scammed, because a few months back, there were some people who came by the Department of Employment and Labor, and they told us that they saw someone who said that if they pay a certain fee, then they are going to get a job. And in reality, that is not the case. You need to follow a certain procedure. And even what do they call them? The reference numbers, they were wrong, they were incorrect. The departments in which these advertisements were posted were not congruent to the job post. So it is very important that you empower yourself with this information, and you know where to find these posts, like the source of them, so that you do not fall short and you do not become scammed. Because looking for a job is emotionally, physically, and financially taxing. So it's very important that you equip yourself with the knowledge to ensure that all of your types of capitals are used in a way that is going to be beneficial to you. So the Labor Center services, the Labor Center has various services. So it's important to ensure that you use the Labor Center services. There are kiosks that connected to the internet. So you can go there, apply for jobs, search for jobs within ASA and also within the country. And you can go to your career counselors. You can also go to your career counselors and have a conversation with them. So what the career counselors do is that they provide services such as CV structuring to ensure that your CV directly speaks to the post that you're applying for. You can use applications such as Canva, which are free, in order to ensure that you tailor your CVs to the required job, so that you have autonomy and you have an assurance that whatever job that you are applying to, you have given it your all, so that even when they try to solicit any money from you, you have the understanding that you have given your best, so you properly represent yourself. They also do interview preparation. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a job that we have referred you to, but it can be any job that you apply for yourself and you have an interview that is maybe scheduled. You can come to us and we can assist you in order to prepare for that job. And based on previous experience, it actually truly helps, because it helps you to familiarize yourself with the questions that are going to be asked by the employer.
Ms. Ntembu, I have a question, one in the chat box.
Okay.
All right. It says, please assist on what to do when I have tried several times to recover my ESA password. I get an error even when I enter the temporary password sent via email.
I would highly advise that you go to your nearest labor center so that they can unlock your profile for you. There might be something that is wrong with your profile, and they might physically need to see you in order to unlock it.
All right. And then this one, just want clarity on where do they access the career counselors?
Okay. When you walk into any labor center, you will find the security personnel, right? And then you will be able to speak to them and ask them that you require maybe to speak to the career counselor. And then they will give you direction as to where you can find them. And also sometimes career counselors, they have advocacy sessions around you, like in various spaces, where they advocate about the services that we render as the department. So you can also access them when they're doing those pop-up sessions. And yes. Yolanda Bayer asks, what role does AI certification play in the recent labor market? Can you maybe elaborate as what you mean by AI certification?
There's a new question as well. Can I read it for you?
Yes, ma'am.
It says, when sending your CV on your email, we must use personal email or student email.
When you send your CV, you can use any email as long as I will find it. Just ensure that you have your ID number on the CV, because without your ID number, then I can't create a profile for you, because our system is linked to the Department of Home Affairs. So just ensure that your correct email and your correct cell phone number is on the CV.
I think what this person says regarding the AI certificate, it's based on, like, you might find that online we have platforms whereby they organizations that they give us certification to complete, and then upon completion those certificates are handed back to us. So she's trying to ask, how does it impact our job readiness or our CVs in order to impact on the job marketing industry? So how does it help us in obtaining the jobs that we have as we have acquired those AI certificates? That is the question that I think she was trying to ask.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I understand now. Because we're living in such a digital world, with so much, with AI having such an influence on the manner and the way in which we do things. When you are applying for a role, and sometimes in the selection process, they might say that maybe we need someone who has a certification in AI, then it will prove as an advantage. So anything that you do as an individual, any certification that you get as an individual, it adds to your very being. So someone that is aware about the role of AI in society and how it can be beneficial and how it can also be limiting to you as an individual, it shows that a person is capable of using it both to their advantage and also pinpointing where it can be at a disadvantage. So it places you in a situation where you are seen as someone that is digitally advanced and someone that is understanding of the current labor market requirements and of the atmosphere and situation of today.
There's one last one in the chat. They're asking whether the email address that you gave, is it only for students? I'm assuming that they're asking for other people as well.
No, it's not only for students. You can share it to as many people as you want so that we can just put them on the database, because in as much as it's hard to find employment, sometimes it's hard to find people who fit the criteria that is required by the job opportunity. So if there are more people that are entered into the database and they have the skills that are required by the job opportunity, it puts them at an advantage in order to get employment. So you can share it to as many people as you want, just as long as they send what is appropriate, which is their CVs. Yes, importantly, it needs to have their ID numbers because we can't create profiles without the ID. And I see someone who Dalukolo said that, good day, are we only focusing on the youth, or everyone should send their CV, not just the youth?
Hi, I heard you saying that you can help us create a profile on Youth Mobi, SA Youth Mobi. So now I want to know how is that possible to create someone else's profile on the platform?
Sorry, I did not say Youth Mobi. I said ESSA, Employment Services of South Africa, because I work for the Department of Employment and Labour. I can't assist you in creating a profile at SA Youth Mobi. I think that was the previous speaker, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I get it. Thank you. And there's one more question that I would like to ask. That since I'm doing my second year in accounting, in financial accounting, now I've heard that there are some companies that are capable of hiring or taking students for maybe about a 6-month learnership. Like, is it something that really happens? Because what I've been noticing when I'm applying, I just keep being rejected. Like, it sounds like it's something that doesn't happen at all. So is it possible to do a learnership or be in any program while I'm studying my BCom financial accounting? Because I find it even helpful since, I'm struggling in terms of paying my fees. So I'm just thinking on how about I do something relevant what I'm studying towards while I can be able to pay my fees.
Oh, okay. I hear you. It is something that happens, and in the aspect of learnerships, The database that we have is the Department of Labor. In as much as the system automatically matches you with the job opportunities, you can also access the system and access those job opportunities on your own. So when you enter into the database, when you access the database, there is a tab written search opportunity. So on that tab, you then can specify the province, the type of job opportunity that you want. So there are learnership, apprenticeships, internships, and formal jobs. So you can then actively apply for the available jobs. And some of them, they don't really need even a qualification. Some of them just need grade 12. And some of the positions that are offered by the Department of Employment and Labor don't really require a certificate or any degree or higher certificate, but it just needs grade 12, such as the CSO positions, the client services officers. Sometimes it just needs grade 12. So you should also just access the database in order to see which opportunities are available.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, and in the sense that our apprenticeships still a thing, they are still a thing because they help to boost employee morale, so that, you know, sometimes some people they rediscover and fall in love with their jobs again if they teach the certain skills that they've acquired to another individual. So it is still a thing. Just ensure that you keep on applying, because one of the things that we need to take into consideration is that if we stop applying because we feel discouraged, there is nothing and there's no change that's going to come. But if you actively ensure that you are active in the labor market and you keep on applying, you ensure yourself that there's a possibility for a change to come and there is an opportunity for you to get employment.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Where you apply the right way and using the right format and the right wording on your CV to ensure that it corresponds with the job advert.
Yes, okay. Thank you. I understand now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mbata. Please don't forget to mute your mic. Thank you. And your hand is still raised. Thank you very much. Moving on, we are now on the last leg of our workshop. And on the last leg of our workshop, we have Ms. Dipale. She is an educational psychologist and your student counselor here at UNISA. She understands the specific journey that you've taken to reach this milestone. She brings forth a psychologically informed perspective to your career transition, focusing on the mental and emotional readiness you need to enter the workforce with confidence. In today's session, she will lead you through a high-impact masterclass in CV writing, showing you how to articulate your skills for the modern recruitment systems. She will also provide you with the tools to master your job interview preparation, helping you to manage anxiety and communicate your unique value to potential employers with professional poise. Thank you, Ms. Dipale. You can take the stage.
I will start because my topic is CV writing. Then I remember there was someone who asked one of the students to say, is there any tool or resources to can refer to when you want to write your CV? Then this is the easiest that we have designed as a unit. Like when you write your CV, you will look at your background. That is the entire background. Let me say, not your biographical information, where you will indicate your name, what is your name, your contact details, your birth, your birth dates, your home address, the city or the town or the country you are coming from. That is the first part which you have to indicate, like your biographical information. And I will come back to this one. Then when you are done, it is when you come to your education background. Your education background, what is it that you have studied? Then you will list all your qualifications, but you must start with the recent one. Let me say you are having your PhD or you are having your master's in whatever, then start with the recent one, then the rest will follow. Don't start with maybe your diploma or your higher certificate. I would prefer you to start with the highest qualification that you have, then you go down. But if you don't have them, remember one of the speakers said, don't be authentic. Don't lie and say you have all those qualifications, because at the end it will catch up with you. Write what you have, but my advice is to start with the current one, the one that you have recently. And then after writing your education background, now you can go to your work experience. Write your work experience if you have. If you don't have, don't include it. And if you don't have it, it means possibly you have your internship program that you were going through somewhere, and maybe perhaps you were volunteering. Indicate that on your CV. I think you heard what Ms. Keabetswe Marumo said about writing your CV, to say if you can make sure that even those work experiences, include them, that I ran a spaza shop, I was employed in a spaza shop, I was employed in a particular, by a particular employer. Include all those so that they can add up on your CV. And when you are done, then come your skills. Include your skills. What is it that you have? Like you can be having your technical skills, your computer skills, your knowledge. You can be having your communication knowledge. You can be having different kinds of skills. Include them there. Even the team building. You are a team builder. That's the skill that you have. You are an organizer. You are good in organizing things. So include all the skills, financial skills, depending on what you have. Then when you write your CV, ensure that you format it. Check the font size or the font that you are using. It must be a professional one. It's either you'll use Arial or you'll use Calibri. And make sure that where possible, you bold your headings. Make it short and concise so that it doesn't bore the reader who is reading that. But try to ensure at all times you include everything relevant. And after writing your CV, okay, let me include something before I come here, because we're talking about your CV. Include your references on your CV. Include your references. Don't make a mistake and not include your references. It can be the previous employer. It can be anyone who, here's the references. It can be anyone. It can be your teacher. Let it be someone who knows you better. It can be your mentor. It can be your senior colleague. At least ensure that on your CV, you have the references, because at times they will contact those references. And that's why I said ensure that you include people that know you better and people that will talk positively about you. All right, thank you. And then after you are done now, you have written your CV, then check your work. Go back and proofread your work. Check your spelling, check your grammar, check any error that might be on your CV. Bold accordingly, and make it short. Don't make it too long, because other people, they don't like reading. Actually, so many things. They just want to see, is this person, let me say the day you'll be applying or you send your CV somewhere, they'll just check what they want. So many other things. You'll say them when they invite you for the interview. Then we are done with writing your CV. Then this is the answer to the guy who asked, how can I write my CV? Here are the tools that you can use. We have Canva, which has a free template that you can use. We have Flow CV, and we have the CV Maker. On the online platform, we have the CV Maker, and physically, we have people who write our CVs. Even mostly the people who are working in the HR department, they will say, bring your CV, I'll write a proper CV for you. But check first, don't just ask. I prefer people doing things for themselves. Because you go, you pay, you don't have money. At times, the person you gave, maybe it's online or whatever way, you don't know that person. That person is going to take your names, your date of birth, your address, and use it for their own, unbelievable things, the things that I don't even want to utter with my weight. So check that. You can just use Microsoft Word to write your CV. And then you are done writing your CV. You are done. And now you go to the adverts. You check the adverts, the job adverts. When you apply, ensure that you don't submit the same CV to the same, different adverts. Let me say you have written your CV today, and maybe after a week, you see the job advertisement. Don't just submit. Check first. Check the advert. What was the job advertised there? What are the key responsibilities of the job advertised? You know very well that you are an admin assistant or an admin officer, and you see the job of an accountant or a bank teller or an educator, and you submit the very same CV that you submitted maybe a month ago where they needed a marketing officer. These things, they don't go hand in hand. When it is a job advertisement for instance, an administrative officer or administrative assistant, check the job requirements on your CV. You check, do I have them? Can I be an admin officer? Can I be a bank teller? Do I have the key responsibilities or the necessary skills needed by the job? Here they need an educator. Do I have a teaching diploma or a degree or whatever they're looking for? Or even grade 12, let me say, is those the advert that they normally advertise, and they say we are looking for grade 12 youth who are not working or who are unemployed, but we want to place them at schools. Do you have grade 12? You ask yourself, do I have what is being indicated on the job advertisement? Check first. Don't just submit. That's why people end up saying, I've been applying, and they don't even consider me. I don't think I am a good candidate for any company. It is because you were just applying to those companies without having necessary skills that they need. So check first. You can't apply at the bank while you don't have the necessary requirements or skills for the bank. You are a sales rep. You don't have education, but you want to apply for that. So check first before you submit. Or before you even waste time, because we don't have time. Check before you submit. Yeah, this again, something that you can check is the job description or the duties that we are going to do. Yes, you applied for, let me say, you are applying for financial officer post. The post has been advertised and they say it's a financial officer post. Obviously, they will check, the requirement will be, we want someone who will assist with basic bookkeeping. We need someone who will be able to write reports, to reconcile invoices, to capture the data, to process the expenses, you know. So you obviously, you will be given a chance to be called for the interviews. Check first the job description of the post you are applying for. Don't just apply because they are post advertised. In the other offices, they will look for maybe, even they will also consider the fact that, okay, this job is paying this much, is an admin officer, or it is equivalent to an admin officer. That's why it's paying this much. So the requirements of the post will be indicated there. We need an honors degree, and you have your diploma, and say, let me apply. Maybe they will be desperate and they will consider me. How many people have, you must ask yourself, how many people have honors degree? Then now you apply with your certificate, your grade 12 certificate, or maybe you apply with your diploma. Consider this, don't waste time. Don't ever waste your time. If they say we need a financial officer, obviously they will ask you questions in relation to the Public Funds Management Act. They will ask you questions about the policies behind financial officers or in the financial office, the regulations they consider before they can pay any money. So you must align yourself with the advert. What is it that the advert is looking for? And then the experience. They say we need someone with 2 years experience and you have 3 years. You still qualify. You can apply. We need someone who will be able to work with Excel. Remember, it's finances. Then obviously they will look for someone whose Excel skills it's very excellent or very great. Because you don't know, maybe perhaps they will give you a computer and say, please show us how do you go about this one, where you have to pay, you have to capture data, and you have to give us total of the amount spent by the company. So you have to ensure that you have those technical skills, and at the same time, your organizational skills, that you can multitask, because you are not only going to focus on that. Check the entire requirement of the post. Check the entire requirement of the post. What is it that they are saying? You'll be making photocopies, you'll be liaising with other companies that you interact with, things like that. So be able to multitask, be able to manage your time effectively, be able to communicate. In other adverts, they will say, we need someone, or maybe a sign language interpreter. And you didn't even check it, you just submitted. And at the end, you are sitting there and say, at least I've put in 5 in a particular organization. You wasted your time. Yes, but you didn't even consider that they need someone with sign language. You just submitted. Or perhaps they said we need a good Zulu speaker and an Afrikaans speaking person. We want this person to interpret. Maybe it's in the court. Then you just put in, you didn't even check. When you go there to the interview, they ask questions to say, can you mention any 12 languages that you can use in the court of law? Or maybe in relation to the post to say, can you mention any language that you can speak very well? And there on the advert, they said sign language interpreter. You even forgot that they said sign language. You don't even mention it. You say, I can speak Sesotho, Sepedi, and Sizulu. You forgot about sign language. And that is the crucial language that they're looking for so that you can be able to interpret. So check, and check before you apply. Otherwise, you'll be wasting your time. Check the requirements of the post. They are very, very important. The references, I've spoken about it. And then now you go to the job interview. You sit down, you check your advert, you check the skills required, you check the experience indicated there, you check the job that they said you are going to perform. Then when you check your CV, you say, yo, I meet the requirements. With everything, I meet the requirements. Then what next do you do? Now you search. After you have done your things, now you search. You do research about the company. I applied at UNISA. If they call you, what is UNISA? Will you be able to indicate what is UNISA? What is being offered at UNISA? So, okay, you applied in the counseling unit for UNISA. Do you know what they offer there? Did you inquire? Did you ask questions? You applied at UNISA Job Radio. Did you inquire what is it that they're doing? The communication. Did you do your research? Do you know their vision? Do you know how they reach their mission? Read. Align yourself with the company's vision, the mission, you know, what is it that they are doing? And you will go well. I've indicated the requirements, the skills, the role. What is the role that you're going to play in that company? What is it that you will be doing? With whom will you be working with? Okay, you'll be working with the student counselor. Okay. There's a trainee career guidance practitioner. Okay, it means, okay, this one is an admin office. Okay, it means I'll be doing admin work for them. You know, you ask yourself those kind of questions. Why did you apply? What could be the possible questions in the interview? In each and every interview, they will ask you about the advert because they advertised. They indicated that we need this kind of a person. That's why when we call you for the interview, we will be asking you about that unit you applied for. So align yourself. Know more about that unit. What is it that they are doing? What are the personality characteristics they must have? Must they be bullying people? Must they be, humble, accommodating? All those things. Ask yourself those questions. And you know that, I'm going to work in the Axwit unit. It means somewhere I have to be careful with what I am doing. I have to be careful. Where possible, I can ask, can I assist you here? Others, they don't even need help. So be careful. Ask yourself, align yourself with the unit or where you applied for. And thereafter, after you have done your research and everything, then start asking yourself questions about the questions you will be asked. Because obviously, the question will come from the advert. Nowhere else. The questions will come from the advert. Then thereafter, practice, don't cram. You can just practice and say, okay, in the counseling unit that they're training students, okay, it means I must be eloquent, it means I must prepare. Okay, let me practice how to prepare my slides, how to share, how to make sure that my slides are moving, things like that. Even though at times our laptops or connectivity that is, can catch up with you. But otherwise, try to prepare yourself before that. And then what else do you do? I've spoken about planning, maybe related questions in relation to the advert. And plan, what is it that I can dress? You must dress up professionally. Don't go and buy new clothes. Check in your wardrobe. What is it that I can wear for that day? What kind of interview, what kind of work am I going to do? Then you can dress, appropriately and professionally. Be neat and just be simple. Be simple, be simple, and where possible, match the company culture. It depends, whatever way, but as long as you are neat, you are simple, and you are lookable. And then the other one, check the logistics, the location. Where is the interview? Is it online? Or is it far? Is it 3 hours traveling? Or maybe it's just an hour traveling. Leave home on time, or you need to book. Ask yourself those questions so that you can be nearer. And the day of the interview, make sure that you arrive on time. Even if you can arrive an hour earlier, 30 minutes earlier, 15 minutes earlier, because if there is no, let me say, another person who was to be interviewed is not there, or maybe she decided to cancel in the last minute, then they can take you. So that's why I'm saying be an hour earlier or 30 minutes or 15 minutes earlier, so that you relax, you cool off, and you present yourself in the interview. And then in the interview room, what is expected of you? Maintain eye contact. You'll be asked questions. Maintain eye contact. Listen carefully. Speak clearly. And most of all, be confident, because you prepared yourself. Don't interrupt while others are speaking. And the most important one, if you don't understand a question, ask for clarification, so that you don't provide the answers that they don't want. We want this, then you give us the opposite. Be an active listener and ask for clarification. And after the interview, mostly they will ask you a question. They will ask you a question, or they will ask you, do you have any question? If you don't have a question for them, you can just thank them for accommodating you. It means you are marketable. That's why they invited you. And thank the people who invited you. And then lastly, the final advice is that a strong CV will get you the interview. And a good preparation will get you the job. That's it. Thank you so much. I've come to the end of my presentation. And I guess as of today, when you go to the interview, you'll prepare accordingly. You look at the advert, the post advertised, and what you have. What you have on the left, it must fit in the right. What you have in the right, it must fit in on the left. Thank you so much.
Ms. Dipale, I hope you're still with us because we have a few questions for you. I see one hand raised and
Yes,
two questions in the chat box. Okay, can we just address the chat box questions first? The first one reads, one of the businesses I used to work for closed down during COVID. Will it be okay if I include it?
Yes, you can. You can. You include it as maybe work experience. Even if it's closed, but the fact that you are not closed, you are still seeking for work, so include it in your CV. Thank you.
The next one reads, good day. In terms of languages, is it advisable to include languages that you don't have a professional proficiency level in your CV, or is that for as long as you're able to read, write, and partially speak that language, that it is okay?
Yes, as long as you can speak the language. We are all, I don't think all of us here, we are all eloquent in speaking the 12 languages. But we are trying our level best. So you can include all, and somewhere on the CV there, they will say good, or average, or excellent, or poor, significantly below average, not poor. It's not the language we communicate about these days. Significantly below average. Then you can include that in your CV, just a little bit to say English, African, Zulu, and whatever, and you rate yourself. Then these people, they will decide whether they call you or they don't. But not all of us, we are clear in the 12 languages. You find that you are good in 9, you are excellent in 2, and 1. It's a problem. Just be honest. We spoke about being honest and authentic earlier on. Thank you.
And while we go further, I'd like to bring this job readiness workshop to a close. We want to formally recognize the dedication and collaborative spirit that made this workshop possible. To lead us in our final expression of gratitude, I would like to welcome Ms. Ramachira from UNISA, a representative of the university's commitment to your ongoing success. She will reflect the insights shared today and offer our collective thanks to the experts, the students, and the graduates who have invested in their professional future. Ms. Ramachira, we invite you to take the floor for the official vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Dipale. As already introduced, my name is Lithabo Ramachira, and I'm a trainee career guidance practitioner based at UNISA, the Val Center. Firstly, I would like to sincerely thank all the students who joined us today. This workshop was prepared with the purpose of equipping you with tools, knowledge, and confidence needed to prepare yourselves for the world of work. Whether you're a first-year student, a graduating student, or a postgraduate student, we hope that today's session has provided you with enough insight and guidance to know where to begin and how to navigate your career journey with confidence. Secondly, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to all our speakers who are experts in their respective fields for taking time to share their knowledge and experiences with us today. Our first speaker, Nosipho Jonas, highlighted the importance of self-knowledge, authenticity, and building credibility. She continued to emphasize intentional networking and encouraged students to leverage their strengths
She also touched on the importance of resilience, adaptability, and flexibility. Our second speaker, Keabetswe Marumo from the Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator, spoke about the importance of correctly articulating the skills we acquire, even the small ones. She emphasized the value of maintaining a positive attitude and professional posture, especially during the infancy stages of our careers. Our third speaker, Ms. Thulisile Mthembu from the Department of Employment and Labor, highlighted the importance of using legitimate and verified channels when searching for employment opportunities. She educated students on the common red flags associated with job scams, including, she mentioned, these ones include poor spellings, pressure to act quickly when you're applying for a job, and requests that come through unprofessional channels such as your WhatsApp and stuff like that. You can see or know there's something off about this one. So I'm encouraging students to kind of keep an eye out for such things. And thank you so much to Ms. Dipale, who took us through proper CV structuring and interview preparation techniques. She equipped students with the practical tools to present themselves professionally in the workplace. So to all the UNISA students, lastly, this is very important. I would also like to remind you that under the Department of Counselling and Career Services, UNISA has counselors and support services that are readily available to assist you with career guidance, career choices, CV development, and interview preparations. So before you pay anyone, just know that UNISA has the services for free. So please utilize them. There are counselors who are ready to have a one-on-one interview with you guys, talk you through your career, your interviews, and stuff like that. So please make use of them. Don't pay when you have services that are readily available for you. So I also hope that you completed the evaluation form, because this will help us to kind of structure better our workshops to kind of accommodate the things that we might have missed in today's workshop. And to officially close, I would like to wish you all the best in your studies, future careers, and professional growth. Thank you once again for joining us today. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and you may now exit. Bye.